Nobody wants to think that they're a toxic manager. That's the hard part. Most toxic managers don't see themselves that way. They think they're demanding excellence. They think they're holding people accountable. They think they're moving fast, making tough calls, and doing what the organization needs. Sometimes that's true. But sometimes the behavior they call high standards feels like blame, confusion, volatility, favoritism, and avoidance to the people on their team. That's where leaders need to be honest. A toxic manager isn't always someone who yells, insults, or tries to make life miserable. Sometimes it's the manager who creates stress, uncertainty, resentment, or fear without realizing it. Today, I want to walk through 5 signs that you might be acting like a toxic manager, and more important, what you can do to fix each one. I'm Barry Moline. I spent 29 years as a CEO, and I share practical lessons on leadership, teamwork, and influence to help you accelerate your own career journey. I'm also a certified trainer in influence and persuasion with the Cialdini Institute. Welcome to the Leadership Career Accelerator, where we help aspiring leaders like you build executive presence, influence with impact, and get recognized and promoted. I am longtime CEO, Barry Moline. One thing I've seen over and over in my career is this. Toxic management is rarely just a personality problem. It's usually a behavior problem. That's good news because behavior can change. The challenge is that leaders often don't see the damage while it's happening. They feel the pressure they're under. They see the deadlines. They see the mistakes. And they know the performance gaps. Their teams see something else. They see how the leader reacts. They see whether expectations are clear and whether recognition is fair. They see whether accountability is handled with courage or avoided completely. This episode is not about labeling yourself as a bad manager. It's about recognizing the patterns that damage trust, then replacing them with better leadership habits. Let's start with the first one, taking credit and assigning blame. The first sign you might be a toxic manager is that you take credit when things go well and assign blame when things go wrong. That pattern destroys trust quickly. Your team notices who gets recognized. They notice who gets promoted. They notice whether you step forward when there's praise and step back when there's criticism. And once people believe you're using them as cover, they stop trusting you. The fix is simple, but it takes discipline. Use the shield and spotlight mindset. In public, shield your team from blame. And also in public, spotlight their contributions when things go well. That doesn't mean you ignore the mistakes. It doesn't mean people avoid accountability. It means you don't embarrass your team to protect yourself. Strong leaders take responsibility for the environment they create. They protect their people in hard moments, and they make sure others are recognized when the team succeeds. That builds loyalty over time, and loyalty is one of the most underrated performance advantages a leader can create. The second sign you might be a toxic manager is that you communicate vague expectations. You say things like, use your best judgment, or just get it done, or I trust you to figure it out. Sometimes that's appropriate, but often it's a way of skipping the work of being clear. Then the employee has to guess. They guess what you wanted. They guess the deadline. They guess what good looks like. They guess how much authority they have. And when they guess wrong, everyone gets frustrated. That's not an employee problem. That's a clarity problem. The fix is to define 4 things before every significant assignment: what needs to be done, why it matters, when it's due, and what success looks like. That doesn't make you a micromanager. It makes you clear. Clarity is one of the highest forms of professional respect you can show your team, because when people know what success looks like, they have a much better chance of delivering it. Quick checkpoint here. We've covered 2 patterns that quietly damage trust. One is taking credit and assigning blame. The other is leaving people to guess what you really want. Both problems create the same result. People start protecting themselves instead of doing their best work. Now let's move to what happens when pressure hits. The third sign you might be a toxic manager is that you react emotionally under pressure. Every leader gets stressed. Deadlines and problems show up. People make mistakes and priorities shift. The question is not whether you feel pressure. The question is what your team experiences when you feel pressure. If people are walking on eggshells around your mood, that's a serious problem. If they're trying to predict whether you'll be calm, angry, dismissive, sarcastic, or impatient, they're spending energy managing you instead of solving the problem. That's costly. Emotional volatility kills honesty. People stop bringing bad news early. They stop asking questions and stop taking reasonable risks. They stop telling you what you need to hear. The fix is to create a personal pressure protocol. That sounds a little weird, but it's very practical. When stress hits, pause before you respond. Ask one clarifying question before you give direction. Lower your voice instead of raising it. Focus the team on the next useful step. Your reaction in a difficult moment teaches the team what kind of leader you are. Anyone can sound composed when things are going well. Leadership shows up when the room gets tense. The fourth sign you might be a toxic manager is that you play favorites. This one can be hard to see in yourself. Most leaders don't think they're playing favorites. They think they're relying on the people they trust. There's a difference. It's normal to have strong performers. It's normal to go to people who have proven they can deliver. But when the same people always get the best assignments, the most flexibility, the most access to you, and the most public praise, everyone else notices. And over time, people start making decisions. Some disengage. Some stop trying. Some will leave. And sometimes the people who leave are the ones who had the most untapped potential. The fix is to audit your own behavior. Look back over the last 30 days. Who got the stretch assignments? Who got recognized publicly? Who got your time? Who got flexibility? Who got the benefit of the doubt? If the same names keep appearing, pay attention. That doesn't mean you lower standards. It means you widen opportunities. High-performing cultures are not built by rewarding only the people already closest to the leader. They're built by developing talent across the whole team. At this point, we've looked at trust, clarity, pressure, and fairness. Those are 4 areas where managers often create damage without meaning to. Now we get to the most common problems I've seen in leadership, and it usually comes from a good place. The 5th sign you might be a toxic manager is that you avoid difficult conversations. This is one of the most common toxic management behaviors I've seen. And again, it's usually not because the leader is trying to hurt anyone. Often it's the opposite. They don't want to embarrass someone. They don't want to create conflict. They don't want to damage the relationship. They don't want to be too harsh. So they wait. They soften the message. They talk around the issue. They hope the person figures it out. They hope the behavior improves on its own. And it usually doesn't. While the leader is avoiding the conversation, everyone else is watching. The high performers are watching. The people carrying extra work are watching. The people affected by the behavior are watching. And the person who needs the feedback is being denied the chance to improve. Avoiding the conversation may feel kind in the moment, but it's not kind if the problem keeps getting worse. The fix is compassionate directness. You can be kind and clear at the same time. You can care about someone and still hold them accountable. You can respect someone and still tell them the truth. A strong conversation might sound like this. I want to talk with you about something important because I want you to be successful here. Here's what I'm seeing. Here's the impact it's having. Let's talk about what needs to change. That tone is direct. It's respectful. It doesn't attack the other person. And it focuses on behavior, impact, and most important, improvement. That combination is one of the most powerful tools a leader has. Toxic management is rarely intentional. Most struggling managers are not bad people. They were promoted because they were good at the work, but they were never really taught how to lead people. That's why self-awareness is so important. If one of these signs hit close to home, don't defend it. Work on it. If you take credit and assign blame, start protecting your team in public and recognizing their contributions, also in public. If your expectations are vague, get clearer about the what, the why, the deadline, and what success looks like. If you react emotionally under pressure, create a personal pressure protocol. If you play favorites, audit on your team who gets opportunity and recognition. And if you avoid difficult conversations, practice compassionate directness. Leadership improvement starts when you're willing to look honestly at your own behavior. That's not weakness, that's maturity. And it's one of the fastest ways to build trust with your team. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 signs is the hardest for managers to recognize in themselves? And if this was helpful, like this video and subscribe. I share practical leadership strategies to help you become the kind of leader people trust, follow, and want to work with. I'm Barry Moline. I'll see you in the next one.